Welcome to the Wingate Advantage with Brandon Wingate, your weekly source for smart insights on real estate, business, investing, and building wealth right here in Middle Tennessee. Now here's your host, Brandon Wingate.
Good morning, my friends. We are here with the first episode of the Wingate Advantage. I'm Brandon Wingate, and I am here to talk about real estate, home ownership, commercial investing, credit, business, and creating advantages to help you through these decisions that you might make and learn more about real estate. And maybe there's some lives changed with investments and rentals and things like this. And so I am here just to bring you that information. And it's coming from my personal experience. And so before you just trust a random guy on the radio or podcast, I'm going to let you get to know me a little bit and my story, and we'll go from there. So hang on to your seats. I'm going to try to bring you truth. That's one thing I promise. Bring you honesty and truth. So let's start with a verse. This is an ancient book that I firmly believe in. And, this is where when I was struggling and trying to figure out the direction I needed to go, this is where the wisdom was for me. And this particular verse rings true whenever I am going to be telling you about my life story. This is an example of the type of wisdom that's in this ancient book. So in Isaiah, it says, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" And then in Proverbs, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." So that has rung true in my life, and I'm going to let you know where I've come from and who I am. I am a managing broker of the Wingate Group real estate firm, McMinnville, Tennessee. I'm a licensed contractor. I'm a commercial real estate investor. I've built 18 to 20 homes, new homes. I've remodeled 25 to 30 homes. I currently own multiple commercial properties, a little over 50 businesses leased from me right now. I have currently leased multiple, so I've purchased multiple apartment complexes, remodeled and leased back up, resold to investors, or kept them for a period of time, all over the Nashville area, McMinnville, different places like that. Then really, though, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to tell you where my experience is. But I also want you to know I was not born rich. I was not, did not get an inheritance like a lot of people thought. And life was actually hard when I first started. So talking about the beginning, my beginning, I grew up in the outskirts of Houston, Texas, and this was a pretty bad neighborhood, Channelview at the time. And I'm 49, so this was, I was born in 77, so this was early 80s. And, things were great for a little while at first, mom and dad together, things like that. But, there was real struggles at that point in time, especially with the economy and all. My dad, he worked for a steel company, Armco Steel. And things were real good while he was working there. They paid good. This was a great opportunity. But things changed quick. They ended up going out of business due to competition from overseas steel. And when he lost his job, that was a devastating moment, because more than likely at that period of time, he wasn't going to find a job that paid anywhere near what Armco Steel paid. So long story short, really, in that way, that ultimately ended up being so emotional for my mom and my dad, it eventually caused a divorce. So now my family's broken all of a sudden. I'm between 5 and 6 years old at this point. I remember it pretty clearly, actually. And so at that point, it's just my mom. And my dad has his separate life during that period of time. And then my mom and we are back at the house. And she wasn't necessarily the main breadwinner, but she was always a hard worker. During that period of time, we were pretty low income, I guess you would say. There was points where we did not have a car, and my mom was working 2 and 3 jobs, usually childcare, so that she could take me along with her, especially she didn't want to leave me with anybody in this area. And so she would take me along with her to make sure I was taken care of. And these were daycare jobs a lot of times. And so I would be riding on the back of her bicycle going to these jobs, and thought it was kind of fun at the time. But, I knew we just didn't have what other people had. And luckily, my grandmother lived on the same street, about 3 or 4 houses down. And my mom would even send me there to make sure that I could get a good meal every now and then. And so we were definitely struggling. So this happened for quite a while. Growing up in this neighborhood, I would watch people get shot over drug deals. I would see gangs running through the yard and people bleeding and being chased. And at one point, we see cops on the TV, and that helicopter is literally flying over our house. And so this is the kind of mess I was growing up in at the time. I dealt with, walking home from school. Gangs would stop you and threaten you, and all these types of things going on. So that's the life I kind of knew. I didn't really know about too much else at the time. So eventually, due to circumstances, things happening, getting robbed and threatened from other people in the neighborhood, whatever might be happening, we ended up moving pretty abruptly, actually. Right in the middle of my school year, we just up and go. And we stayed with family for a while in another area of Texas. And so that's when life started changing a little bit. I started experiencing something different. So I go to a new school, big change. No matter how bad it is, it's always tough to change. And so I'm meeting new people. My friends are no longer around that I had. And I'm trying to figure things out at this point. So I'm naturally, a quiet person, man of few words. So, by the way, this whole radio thing here, it's very different from me. So, just letting everyone know, I'm going to try to fill an hour with words. And, that's been one of my worries a little bit. Can I talk that much? So, anyway, I'm about 10 years old at this point when we've started living with family. By the way, bullet holes on the side of the car and everything. I'm telling you, that was a messed up situation we were in. And I'm thankful we got out of it. And eventually, my mom meets my stepdad that I have now. And we take off in a different direction. And he is management. I've never seen or met anyone like this, actually. He was wearing suit and tie and all this kind of stuff. And I was a bit scared of him, actually, at first, because that was foreign, very foreign to me. But we follow him, and we go that direction. Now, in the meantime, before I explain that direction and what I learned, as the years go by, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, 14, the normal practice was for me to go visit my dad in the summertime. And once he started putting himself back together again. He had built this garage, basically, on the side of I-35 or in Abbott, Texas. That's the home of Willie Nelson, by the way. But he built this garage right on the side of the interstate, and he was a natural mechanic. He knew his stuff, and that's what he was doing. So he was being a mechanic, and so I'd go visit him in the summertime, spend the entire summer, pretty much almost after the day I got out of school to the day I started, with him. And I was observant all these years, and I would watch him roll around in the grease, just under cars all day. And mind you, this is Texas, so he has no AC in this shop. The sun is baking on top of this shop at 105 degrees. And I'm here helping him, handing him tools, usually the wrong tool. And I'm just like, man, this is miserable. And I look at what I felt like how tough he was, and gritty. And so, he would have me helping move these junk cars he had in the backyard. Like he had a couple of acres there. And he had this old wrecker truck, I'll always remember that. Had no brakes, like barely started, but it did somehow. And this thing, if you ever seen the cartoon Cars, there's a wrecker truck on there called Mater. This was Mater. Okay. So my job, he'd holler at me, get in the truck, tow a car around, whatever. And so I'm in the weeds, like hoping I don't get bit by rattlesnakes or whatever. Everything's going through my mind. And I'm hooking these cars up on this big boom that's off the back of this wrecker truck, and I'm dragging it around to the other part of the building. And I'll never forget, I was always scared. I'm talking 10 years old, I started doing this. And nervous and everything about it. But he would come out there and, I might not be doing something right or whatever. And he would be like, step on the gas. Step on the gas. And I can definitely let you know that there's some things happen. So we'll be right back, and I'll fill you in on the rest of that.
Turned down for a car loan? Struggling to get approved? Don't give up. Come see the team at Reddick Brown Ford. We believe everyone deserves a second chance. Our financing experts work with all types of credit to help get you behind the wheel fast. Make the short drive down Highway 55 to Reddick Brown Ford and drive home approved.
My name is Andy Knowles, and I'm the owner, president, and CEO of Knowles Private Wealth. We've been working with Main Street Media ever since we opened up our doors, and that was a little bit over 1 year ago.
We officially started advertising with Main Street Media when they launched 92.1 The One, and we've been with them ever since. First heard about the development of Main Street Media. I'm good friends with Scott and Chad, and just knew we had to be involved with them somehow.
At the cafe at Tree City, people are talking about their favorite treats.
I personally like the caramel macchiato.
I'm a cappuccino man.
The biscuits are the best.
I love the egg bites because they're so fluffy.
Gravy biscuits, egg bites, it's all good.
I like the caramel macchiato because it's so sweet.
Come check out our fresh breakfast menu, served all day.
Find out what you like at the cafe, located inside the inn at Tree City.
In a place like Warren County, community means everything. And when it comes to your health, trust goes a long way. Every prescription, vaccine, and interaction is handled with care, combining modern technology with a personal approach so you feel confident in every medication you take. And now with our test and treat program, you can get tested and treated for common illnesses like flu and strep right here without the wait. And whether it's inside the pharmacy or the drive-thru, the care you receive is more than a pill or a vaccine. It's those in the community serving the community. It's knowing that the staff behind the counter care about your health and your medication, but most importantly, you. So come to Graves Family Pharmacy, because here we put the care in Warren County's healthcare. Graves Family Pharmacy, caring for Warren County one patient at a time.
All right, welcome back. So let's pick up where we left off. So he would be coming out there yelling at me. I'm trying to get in this truck, move cars for him, do the best I can at this age. And I remember one point he comes out there and I'm struggling with this car, and I can't get it where I need to go. And he's like, "Get in there, quit being scared. Step on it, step on it." He's like yelling me out here, and I'm there like in tears. And what has happened is there's these trees in Texas. Like, I don't even know what kind of tree it is, but they're the toughest daggum trees you've ever seen. They can be the size of your wrist and stop a car. I'm not kidding. Like, these things are crazy strong. So I had clipped a part of a tree like that, and it wasn't that big. It was probably, 6 inches round. And this car just wasn't pulling past it. And he's yelling, "Step on the gas, step on the gas." And so his yelling was worse than my situation, so I step on the gas. And, front of Mater there, I feel like I'm about to pop a wheelie. It's weighted in the front and everything. I have a pretty good tow truck here. And I feel like I'm about to pop a wheelie. And finally, this thing lets go of this tree. And for a period of 10 minutes, it feels like, there is pure silence. And then all of a sudden, crash. This thing, luckily, the truck had like a roll bar system over the top. But this car had so much tension on it that it had flown in the air and landed on top of this truck with me in it. And I'm telling you, at 10 years old, like, I nearly left a mess in the seat, if you know what I mean. So, scared me to death. But I always felt like, and you can ask my mom, like this, I always felt like when I went to go visit my dad, my life was at risk. I know he was there and he's watching and things, but I definitely experienced some stuff. Like every time I went over the summer, always came back with something, I don't know. But anyway, also, like, one more thing I got to tell you. He had a public bathroom there, okay? And to this day, I hate public bathrooms for this reason. I know this is the reason why. This public bathroom, he's in it's public. So these people bringing in cars. He goes in there with grease on, This is not the cleanest thing in the world. Like I mentioned, no AC. The only bathroom he's got in there. The public comes in and out using it. And I'm staying with him, and I have no other option but to either go outside or use this. And I hated it, man. Going in there and sitting there, and baking to death, and just drenched in sweat. And, you're just trying to have a peaceful moment. Anyways, there was a point where my grandmother came to visit, and I had a fever, 103, and she didn't know what was wrong with me. And she asked me, "When was the last time you went to the bathroom?" And I said, 5 days ago. And she just flipped. She didn't understand why. But I had gone on strike. I just wasn't going to use it anymore because I hated it that bad. So anyway, I didn't know you can make yourself sick by doing that. But anyway, that was my summers. That was a normal thing. Multiple things happening all the time. So, watching this, I was like, man, I just don't think I want to do that. I just got to have something better than that. I just did not like those experiences, even though it created a certain personality in me. Just didn't like those experiences. So now, okay, back to my stepdad, suit and tie. Okay. He was definitely management in plants and things like this, factories. And so I, for a while there, living with them during the school year, I am noticing like, hey, life is different. I can go to the toy store and, I see a scooter or a bicycle I want, and he seems to be able to easily pay for that. That was very different for me, and I thought that was pretty darn cool. So things were good for a while. But even there, things quickly changed. He got laid off at one point, almost a year. And the craziest thing that I heard him say is he was a worker, okay? So in this layoff, he's hoping he gets his job back at the plant where he made pretty good money at. And at one point, we're living in this apartment for a year, and he has no job. But he was looking like he was willing to work at a gas station. I remember him applying for things like even a gas station just to get something, and they would tell him, "You're overqualified. We can't hire you. You won't stay." And so that was the craziest thing. I'm like, what? Overqualified? So that was a hard time, even though he was the suit and tie guy, and smart and highly educated and everything. We still experienced that. Then on top of that, we moved like crazy because he was transferred. And basically, you pretty much had to go. If you were transferred to another plant, another location, you had to go. That was just the choice. He's looking at retirement, and one day he's going to not be working. He needs to make as much money as possible. He needs to support a family. So, he's in this, circle of you got to do what you got to do, which I think a lot of us are in. And it can be a vicious circle sometimes. And it doesn't matter. Like I'm saying here, what job you're in, how much you're making, there are struggles, and the struggles are real, no matter what. And so what this was doing to me is I was in schools, once again, trying to make friends, moving to new places, losing friends, and this anger was kind of building up in me a little bit. At the time, I hated it. I hated the change and hated moving to a new place and getting all nervous again. And schools taught different ways. Some were behind, some were ahead, and so my grades fluctuated, and all these types of things. There were some schools, but I just hated that school no matter what. So kids there weren't friendly or whatever. But we finally landed at one point in Oliver Springs, Tennessee. That was my final years of my high school, and went through 3 years there, sophomore, junior, senior, graduated. And again, there's a new event coming, and this was a big, big moment in my life, and we will get to it when we come back. Thank you.
That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it.
At the cafe at Tree City, people are talking about their favorite treats.
I personally like the caramel macchiato.
I'm a cappuccino man.
The biscuits are the best.
I love the egg bites because they're so fluffy.
Gravy biscuits, egg bites, it's all good.
I like the caramel macchiato because it's so sweet.
Come check out our fresh breakfast menu, served all day.
Find out what you like at the cafe located inside the inn at Tree City.
Hi, my name is Victoria Dodson. I am the general manager at Captain D's located in McMinnville, Tennessee, and we have been working with Main Street Media for a few months now, since January of 2026. Anytime I ever need an ad changed or update something with our package deal that we have with Main Street Media, they are on it ASAP, and it has definitely affected our sales in a very positive way. We have noticed an significant increase in our sales because the word does get delivered out to our customers directly and a lot more efficiently. We have a wonderful community here in McMinnville, and I've noticed a good majority of the community is on Main Street Media. So if we are running a special or we're trying to do something to give back to the community, we definitely deliver the news to Main Street Media and they get the word out for us. We have nothing but positive feedback. I have to say probably the best advertisement we have for this Captain D's locally would be the Main Street Media for sure.
In a place like Warren County, community means everything. And when it comes to your health, trust goes a long way. Every prescription, vaccine, and interaction is handled with care, combining modern technology with a personal approach so you feel confident in every medication you take. And now with our Test and Treat program, you can get tested and treated for common illnesses like flu and strep right here without the wait. And whether it's inside the pharmacy or the drive-thru, the care you receive is more than a pill or a vaccine. It's those in the community serving the community. It's knowing that the staff behind the counter care about your health and your medication, but most importantly, you. So come to Graves Family Pharmacy, because here we put the care in Warren County's healthcare. Graves Family Pharmacy, caring for Warren County one patient at a time.
Turned down for a car loan? Struggling to get approved? Don't give up. Come see the team at Reddick Brown Ford. We believe everyone deserves a second chance. Our financing experts work with all types of credit to help get you behind the wheel fast. Make the short drive down Highway 55 to Reddick Brown Ford and drive home approved.
All right, so this final moment here that's kind of solidified in my mind how I was going to think about things from now on. I was just graduated, 18 years old, and he gets transferred again. And this time he transfers to Paducah, Kentucky. And I'm like, I'm not going. I mean, I in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I have to not go. And at this point in time, I had chosen a field that I thought was going to be the most stable field I can go into because I hated the layoffs. I did not want to, work out and roll around in grease. I just knew I didn't want those things. So I chose the medical field. Now, the medical field, starting out in x-ray and working up from there, CT and everything, that was challenging classes. And so I told myself, you're going to work as hard as you can work, and you're going to do all the college and schooling and everything you need to do and do it yourself. Well, I couldn't. I found out quick I couldn't. Working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car at the time, started out detailing cars and then worked my way to the inside, which I didn't really like that much either, but I liked detailing cars better than I liked working in the office. Anyway, I realized quickly I wasn't going to be able to do this. I'd have to room with somebody. Those people weren't probably somebody I should be rooming with when trying to go through college. So I was pretty angry, and I knew, man, I cannot make this choice of not doing this because I've got to be on a better track. I got to be something's got to be more stable. So angrily, I moved to Paducah, Kentucky, and I vow as soon as I get out of the courses that I need to take and get my x-ray license, I'm getting out of Paducah, Kentucky. And that's exactly what I did. I went to a vocational school so I don't waste any time on classes I feel like I don't need, because I really wasn't a school person, but I did what I had to do. So I get this certificate for x-ray, and I take off, man. I'm going back to Oliver Springs because that's what I felt like was most home. And I happened to stop in at Vanderbilt and in Nashville. And I thought, what the heck? I'll apply on my way. And they hire me on the spot. So there I stick. There I meet my wife. She was in X-ray school. I was working there, so we got to know each other. Knew she was a good woman that I should probably be with. And we get married. She goes to ultrasound school. And I look at what she's learning. They make pretty good money. And I think, you know what? I think I want to do the same thing. And I went to ultrasound school at Vanderbilt. And I end up specializing in vascular ultrasound in particular. And at that point, after a little bit of experience, we decide, hey, we want to travel. There's traveling gigs, you know. You can go all over the place, and fill-in at hospitals are short-staffed. So we sell everything, and, you know, we're young, you know, early 20s. We sell everything. We're sleeping on like an air mattress in our apartment floor, waiting for our first call, and boom, we get that call. We're going to Maine. I didn't even know where Maine was. So, but we're all excited. So we do this for 5 years, and it's pretty amazing gig. But this is when my eyes really opened. I really started getting some experience then and started noticing that how different people lived. You know, we were in Connecticut, New York City, California, San Francisco, Louisiana, and we were there for months at a time, running all over the place, each state being so different, meeting so many different people. But I started noticing out of all those people, there were some people that seemed to have almost like they had a secret. And there's just certain people. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Those people are interesting. And they seem to have freedom. They seem to have stability in their life financially. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? What's so different about them? And I really, really wanted to know. But so what I started observing is those people in particular, whether they used their good job or they made great decisions early on, or they inherited it, whatever the story might be, they all were investors in real estate. And they had found their way through that. And so I said, okay, this is interesting. I definitely thought it was interesting. So I thought, I don't know anything about that, and I need to know more. And so that's where the obsession started. And I always felt like, you know, for all these schools that I moved around, I wasn't a very educated guy. I just happened to get lucky and pick the medical field for one purpose, stability. But that didn't mean I was necessarily educated. So I'm like, I'm going to educate myself. I'm like, shoot, I'm not going back to school. Didn't want to do that. So I thought, okay, where can I get my education? I don't want to spend a bunch of money on it. And I realized, wait a minute. Every book I want to read is at the local library, and it's free. So that's the decision I made. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to learn anything I want to learn at the library. So I get rid of the TV because I'm like highly focused at this point. I get rid of the TV. We go without TV for multiple years. And I'm determined I'm going to read every book about investing in real estate I can get my hands on. And that's exactly what I did. So after a couple of years of this, and I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh, man, you know, I know this, I know that. You know, but there's one thing that you got to either put up or shut up, pretty much. Like, I couldn't call myself an investor. I couldn't call myself, you know, these same people that I'm realizing has a different life. At some point, you got to take that action, and that's what separates everything. You can think you want to do it. You can know that you can do it, but it's nothing till you take the action. And so I had to do this. So my eyes were open. I knew what I was looking for, a type of investment of some type. And what I felt like, I was like, well, I'll buy some land, you know, because that's talked about a lot in investment books and things. So I'm looking for land, and I'm looking for a piece of land that I feel like is going to increase in value and all these types of things. And so, again, I go visit my dad in Texas. I'm up older, and I'm driving around, and I'm actually literally, from all the books that I read and educated myself, I'm seeing things differently. I'm seeing opportunities a little bit more. And so I see this piece of property. It's for sale. Call about it. This property is right on the interstate of I-35. Like, this thing's sweet. It stretches a mile down the interstate, 93 acres. And mind you, I'm doing pretty good traveling around the country still, doing my wife and I, because during that time, those companies, like, they paid our expenses. They paid our car and our housing. And so our hourly wages, we just had a great time. And I'm letting you know, like, yeah, we made good, decent money, but at the moment, I was not smart with that money. We just went and blew it and had a great time. And, you know, we're early 20s. We're making these mistakes, and I'm going to call it a mistake because we're going to talk about this later on in the shows. And I really wasn't saving any of it. Now, all of a sudden, I had a reason to save it. Like 93 acres. And I'll never forget the property price, $240,000. Now, if you guys know anything about property prices now, you can barely buy a starter home, not in great shape, for $240,000. Now, we're talking 93 acres on the interstate. 2008. Good old days. So I purchased it, man, and I'm scared to death because that's a lot of money to me back then. And I purchased it. I got to save up that down payment, 20% down. You know, commercial property. It's not the same, you know, rules as first-time home buyers or something where you need very little down. Commercial property, you got to have 20% or just walk out of there. So I save up this 20%, purchase it. And, man, I'm nervous. Like, I thought, okay, I got to do something with this quickly. So I dive in, using my books, reading all about it, and I decide I'm going to turn this into a commercial subdivision. It's like perfect for that. So that's what I work on. While we're traveling, while I'm working, every little second I had, I'm on the phone calling surveyors and different people that's required to do this subdivision. And I couldn't do it because I'm, you know, in California and this property's in Texas. So I learned a lot during this period of time, and it took me a year to get this done. And so finally it's done. I literally fly down to Texas, meet the surveyor. He hands me the signed tract of land, now a subdivision, commercial, signed off by the county. And what I didn't realize, because I was not local, is that there was something brewing to do with the interstate. I-35, which is the main corridor through, you know, Mexico, Austin, all the way up to Canada, was expanding. And I received a letter from the state of Texas saying, hey, we're expanding the interstate. We're taking 10 acres of your property. And I thought, okay, well, that's good. I guess. I don't know how this works, but didn't seem to have a choice. They were going to do this no matter what. Didn't like it at first, but they sent their own appraisers out, and they were like, hey, we think your property is worth $9,000 an acre. You know, that's what farmland is going for. That's what this letter said. Right off the bat, I was like, farmland? They don't realize last week it was signed off as commercial subdivision. So I knew, I'm like, okay, we've got something brewing here. So I wrote them a letter back and said, sorry, you might want to do that appraisal again. It's commercial. And boy, did they not like that. Next thing, my next letter was, I'm being sued by the state of Texas. And I'll tell you a little bit about that coming soon. That was my first big lesson.
Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Money for nothing.
Turned down for a car loan? Struggling to get approved? Don't give up. Come see the team at Reddick Brown Ford. We believe everyone deserves a second chance. Our financing experts work with all types of credit to help get you behind the wheel fast. Make the short drive down Highway 55 to Reddick Brown Ford and drive home approved.
My name is Andy Knowles. I'm the owner, president, and CEO of Knowles Private Wealth. We've been working with Main Street Media ever since we opened up our doors, and that was a little bit over 1 year ago.
We officially started advertising with Main Street Media when they launched 92.1, The One, and we've been with them ever since. First heard about the development of Main Street Media. I'm good friends with Scott and Chad, and just knew we had to be involved with them somehow.
At the cafe at Tree City, people are talking about their favorite treats.
I personally like the caramel macchiato.
I'm a cappuccino man.
The biscuits are the best.
I love the egg bites because they're so fluffy.
Gravy biscuits, egg bites, it's all good.
I like the caramel macchiato because it's so sweet.
Come check out our fresh breakfast menu, served all day.
Find out what you like at the cafe located inside the inn at Tree City. In a place like Warren County, community means everything. And when it comes to your health, trust goes a long way. Every prescription, vaccine, and interaction is handled with care, combining modern technology with a personal approach so you feel confident in every medication you take. And now with our Test and Treat program, you can get tested and treated for common illnesses like flu and strep right here without the wait. And whether it's inside the pharmacy or the drive-thru, the care you receive is more than a pill or a vaccine. It's those in the community serving the community. It's knowing that the staff behind the counter care about your health and your medication, but most importantly, you. So come to Graves Family Pharmacy, because here we put the care in Warren County's healthcare. Graves Family Pharmacy, caring for Warren County one patient at a time.
Money for nothing, chicks for free.
All right, so back to my big lesson. I'm being sued by the state of Texas. I was not ready for that. First investment ever. Scary. I don't know how much longer that we're going to be traveling. Like, I'm going to have to get back to the real world and just have a regular job. And I had a big decision to make. Do I just lay down and let them take my property for an okay price? It was more than I paid per acre. Or do I fight for what I know is the truth, that this is commercial property? So from my roots, going back to Channelview, Texas, confronted by gangs and whatever else, I wasn't groomed to lay down. I was groomed to fight. And that's what I did. I chose to fight them back. For 4 years, I fought the state of Texas with my own attorney and ended up winning it. Got what I needed. Long story short. So that was a big, long process. 4 years of fighting, 4 years of land sitting there, 4 years of payments the whole time. I did not pay cash for this. So, we had stopped traveling. We had kids. This is a lot that happened during this period of time, and I'm still in the battle. And, learned a lot, but ended up winning it. But through that process, the rest of my decisions after that and investing was definitely different. Now, with that said, as you heard earlier, I own a lot of different properties now, built a lot of houses, things like this. I've come a long way since then. And I'm here to answer some important questions. And one of the most important questions right now that's on everybody's mind, and I want to let you know, I'm not just speaking to the advanced investors. I'm speaking to people all the way up that's wishing to buy a home. And I'm here for that as well. So we're going to talk about that whole spectrum. I'm going to try to teach you everything that I've personally experienced and my personal opinions from the situations that I was in. I want to bring all that to you. So this first question is one of the most popular questions as a broker owner of the Wingate Group real estate firm. Big question is, should I buy now my first home? Interest rates are high. They should go down. Well, my opinion is that, yes, if you need that home, you go buy it, if you have the ability to do so. Why would I say that? And I'm coming from a different mindset here. I'm not just emotional about it. This is your first investment decision. I want to make that clear. When you buy that home, it is your first investment decision. And most of the time, it's someone's biggest investment they make all their life, because that might be the only investment they have. So why is this a great investment opportunity to buy your first home? Supply and demand. You're not the only one holding back, thinking they're going to wait for the interest rates to go down because they got a little taste of what the interest rates did during COVID. They think we're going to turn back to that any day now. There's no guarantee. Let me tell you, man. The decisions that the Federal Reserve makes, the decisions that the government makes, you can have one president in, the next president in. It's going to sway back and forth. They run things different ways. You cannot guarantee that interest rate is going to go down, first off. Now, let me tell you why it's good right now. Because the supply is high. You have lots of choices. This is the buyer's market, which means if you're buying, it's in your favor. So, with that, what happens when houses don't move, when things don't sell? Let's just say you're just wanting to sell, I don't know, your strawberries on the side of the road. All right? You got a bunch of strawberries. Nobody wants to buy your strawberries. Well, what's the first thing you think about? Well, maybe I should lower the price. I'll get people to buy it then. So you lower the price. And you get a little bit more sales. But then you start thinking, oh, man, these strawberries are going to rot. I got to get to lower the price. I'd rather sell them than lose that money. So you lower your price again. This is what's happening with the housing market. There's houses not moving because there are a lot of you waiting. And these sellers are getting anxious. Now, it's not all of them. All of them sometimes can afford to sit there and just sit on it for years. I don't think that's wise either. But anyways, there are definitely sellers out there that are willing to make a deal that's actually already lowered their price, sometimes $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Hey, I was one of them because, you heard I flip houses. There was a house that I know was supposed to sell for $325,000, and I sold it at $275,000. That's a $50,000 decrease. Now, this house, I put everything into it. It was nice. So what I'm saying is your opportunities are out there. Yes, the interest rate's higher. Yeah, most people are looking at the payment and payment alone, and that is a mistake. I know you got to have it affordable. You have a budget. I understand that. But I believe even if the price is priced a little too high, look at how long it's been sitting. If it's been sitting for a long time, you might have a high chance of bringing that price down through negotiations and getting the right payment you need. So I highly recommend go out there, get that house, because let me let you know something here too. Another point. You got lots of choices. So you might have 4 or 5 different choices of houses you love, and there's one that you love the most. Guess what? You don't have hardly any competition. Now you get into this house, you're like, oh man, the interest rate's a little bit higher than I want it to be, but you're in it. You're in your house. You're starting your family. You're starting that first investment, and guess what? A year later, the interest rates go down. And you're like, darn, I missed out. Like, oh, if I just would have waited, my payment would have been $50 lower per month. No, you didn't. Go back, as long as you kept your credit good. Refinance. Now, guess what? You're in the house that you picked, the house that you love. You had options that now that the interest rate has gone down, those people running out there to buy real quick now don't have the same options because now they got a lot of competition. But you got the house you wanted. Now you've taken advantage of the lower interest rate because you went to go refinance, lowered your payments, and now you are where you want to be. So, the biggest thing, you got to take action. You got to get out there. You got to do it. Don't wait. Because I'm telling you, those interest rates might not even go down. We are dealing with inflation right now. We are dealing with a lot of decisions that are no guarantees. And if you guys watch, some people do, some people don't. I do. I watch all kinds of different investments. So, I watch gold. Why gold? Because gold tells you the strength of the dollar. When gold is high, dollar is weak, generally. When gold is low, the dollar is strong because it takes less dollars. Gold is a kind of a fixed value. So when it takes more dollars to buy that ounce of gold, that means that you're in an inflation situation. It takes more dollars. Okay, the dollar's weaker. When that gold is low, there's less dollars that can buy that same ounce of gold. And so right now, gold is high. We're in an inflation situation. And what typically happens with interest rates, normally when you're in an inflation situation, even if it's slightly stabilized, they stay high. They don't want the housing market to go wild. They don't want prices to increase. They don't want these things, so they keep interest rates high. And gold is still high. So really, unless the plan is to weaken the dollar more, those interest rates really probably, if they do go down, won't be a lot, I wouldn't think. But hey, you just never know. So that's why I say go out there, buy that house. You don't know the future. You can't predict it. You don't know which way the wind's going to blow. Get the house you want and make that choice, take that action, and take advantage of it later if interest rates do go down. All right. That is it for the show. And again, I'm Brandon Wingate, owner, broker with the Wingate Group, McMinnville, Tennessee. Here bringing you the truth about homeownership and business. Talk to you soon.